Fluid Power System, 7th semester, module number 5, Pneumatic Control Circuits. In that one, lecture 3, use of limit switches in a pneumatic system. Disclaimer. This PPT has been prepared by referring many sources which include figures, diagram from internet as well as from the prescribed textbooks and reference books. I do not claim any originality in preparing this video or PPT. This PPT or video is exclusively for purpose of education, not for any financial gains. I wholeheartedly thank all those who have directly or indirectly contributed to do this PPT and video. Limit switches, which are used as a mechanical feedback generating type of valve. It's a valve which generates a feedback signal, right? In normally when you say electrical signal, we will use the sensors as a feedback signal, which will generate the feedback signal. Here, if you wanted to have a purely mechanical type of related valve, then we will use a limit switches which will generate the feedback signal, or the signal which is received from the limit switches we will consider as it's a feedback signal. Wherever we require a feedback signal, in that condition we will use the limit switches. The limit switches, we have two types. One is a roller operated switches and lever operated switches. The roller operated, where we have a moving components, so that it will move above the roller. At the time while moving, it will actuate that particular wall, and the same time, so the roller is used to help the to moving component to move smoothly, right? When you have a lever operated switches, where the component will come and lever actuation. Only thing is, where we have a stationary components, where you have a stationary elements which used to generate the signal, there will use the lever operated signals. Here we will use, in this particular circuit I am showing the roller operated signal. The roller operated limit switches, those two switches, one switch we will call as a S1, will as a S1 switch, the first switch. Second is was the S2 limit switch. This S1 and S2 are placed in front of the cylinder rod. So what will happen? The cylinder rod, while moving out, that will press the limit switch. That will move on the roller. While moving, it will press the, or it will actuate that particular switch, limit switch. Right? The S2 is also used there only. So what is the use of this one? This S1 and S2 switch will give the feedback, right, to regarding the position of the cylinder rod. Position of the cylinder rod will be taken as a feedback condition. So if you want to know the cylinder is under the forward direction, or whether reached its position, or it is under the initial condition, the S1 is shows the initial condition signal, and S2 will used for the final condition. What is the, whether it reached the final destination. What will happen? These two, the limit switches outputs are connected to main memory valve, and limit switch also have a air supply from the compressor, right? It required input signal as pressurized air, and it will give the signal as also the pressurized air only, right? Nothing but a working medium is air itself, right? What will happen? See, initial condition S1, see, initial under the closed condition, if the cylinder rod is pressed, that one, right, it will generate a signal towards the main valve. The main valve will supply the air to 1 to 4, nothing but cylinder will get a supply, the near air supply to piston end, so the cylinder start move, When it start move, when it reach the end position, at the end we have a S2 switch that will pressed. S2 is under the closed condition. See here, under the closed condition. If the wall, if the cylinder rod come and press that one, if you press this S2 wall, what will happen? S2 wall is get actuated, means 1 to 2 is get connected. So air supply will give a signal to the main wall from the port number 12. So depending on the port number 12 is second position, nothing but the compressed air will give a supply towards the rod end. So if you give a supply to the rod end, what will happen? Cylinder start retract back. So cylinder will start retract back. Nothing but so it will come back to its original position. When it reach the original position, again it will press the S1 switch. Again it will press the S1 switch. So according to the S1, again it will give a signal to the memory wall. Right? When you give a memory wall signal to the memory wall, the cylinder start move forward direction and it will hit the S2 switch. Again it will generate the return signal. So this kind of circuit will help the cylinder to continuously move to and fro motion without any intervention. If you if you should cut now, if you cut off the supply, then only it will stop. Otherwise, it will continuously move the to and from motion. Nothing but the forward stroke, then return stroke, forward stroke, return stroke until you give a cut off the supply to any wall. Whether you need to supply cut off the main wall or to these limit switches. Till that one, it will keep on do its work. So wherever you wanted application of to and from motion, there you can plan this kind of circuit to generate the signal. This is how the wall looks. See here, this one is a have a roller operated wall, and this one is also roller operated. But here we have one more hinge here. So that reason we'll call this one as a what do you call idler roller operated limit switch. It is a normal roller operated limit switch. This one is with the idler roller. Nothing but this roller. Here what will have in this condition, while something moving above this one, in while moving on the towards the while moving on above this roller, at the both the direction the wall is get actuated. But if it's a roller operated, only the forward direction. Say example according to the while moving in my highlighting signal, right? Only in this direction it will actuate. It will pressed. In the return direction, if you move towards this direction, then what will happen? Only the this hinge will actuate, so only it wall will not operate. Only this roller will bend towards the downwards, and the moving components will move above that one without actuation. Say example here, if you move something here, it will be pressed like this. But in this case, if you move like this, it will pressed. But if you move return direction, it won't press. Only due to this hinge will operate, so it will bend and it will come back to the initial condition. Where will use? So I want the signal in only in the one direction, not in the return direction. While components moving in the forward direction only, I want the signal. If the components moving in the return direction, it should not generate the signal. Or the best example is the same. What is double acting cylinder? The while cylinder is a cylinder rod is moving in the forward direction, it will actuate the signal. While moving coming back, it won't generate the signal if it is a idler roller kind of wall. This is a more clarity sketch. See if you have a here they maintain the 30-degree wedge on the cylinder rod while moving forward. See it will hit and this plunger will pressed, so it will generate, it will move the spool so that the move spool will change its direction. While in the retract movement, see this will be pressed. Only the hinge will going to be operate. It will bend the way towards the 30-degree angle. So it will simply roll on that one. It won't generate the any signal. here. Above the cylinder rod, a wedge type of position you want to get the actuation signal. While the cylinder is moving in forward, it will actuate, but see in the both the condition. But in the same case, while retract back, see it will bend only, it won't generate the signal. See here how much it is pressed, but here how much it is, right? It won't push the plunger, but the roller, idler roller itself bend with respect to the given hinge, so it won't generate the return signal. So the retract signal is not going to be generated, only the forward, nothing but it wanted to count the components, how much components. So only in the while pushing out you need to count the component, while retract you should not count. So this kind of roller is going to, while push it will the limit switch generate the signal, while retract back it won't generate signal. So it can give how many times it is actuated or how many times it is generate the signal, you can count in the counting systems. So this was the same example what I have taken initially. So here they used normal roller operated direction control valve to get the oscillation movement. Right? If you use one idler roller, it won't retract back automatically. Then you need to generate the signal yourself. Right? Or you need to eliminate the S1 switch. You need to use only one switch. When you reach the end point, you have to generate the signal. If you use a single acting cylinder. If it is a double acting cylinder, two signals it required, or simply cylinder will move and it will retract back. Right? To generate both the side signal, or if you want a confirmation whether the cylinder reached that particular location, then only you will use the roller operated direction control valve. You will see much application on these things in the next lecture videos, like multi-cylinder controlling kind of application examples.
Thank you. For further details, you can contact me, Sandeep S, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Canada Engineering College, Controller, and my mail ID is sandeepmysore07@gmail.com, and my contact number is 9900 Any clarification or any information, you can contact me with respect to the this video. Thank you once again.